Hey, it's Eric with HoosierCycles. I've got my Murray 81 Baja mountain bike that I converted over to a BMX Cruiser. If you look at my older videos, you'll see it built a few years ago. It's just been hanging, and I want to get it down and clean it up and replace some of the parts that probably at the time that's what I had to build it, but I would like to swap some of these parts out. Try to find a headset that's a little bit better quality than the Murray one, and change the tires on it, do a chain ring and seat post, seat, the cables, probably keep the housing but keep the cables, and then I'm probably going to put a set of brakes on it that I've picked up over the years. So those are things I want to try to take care of, clean it up, make it look nice. This one I want to keep. I'm probably not going to pass it on to anybody. These are kind of cool to build. You know, the early cruisers of that year, or that era of the 81, 82s, you know, they were kind of doing the mountain bike slash BMX components. So this still has the, you know, the old kind of look of a BMX cruiser, the frame geometry. So something I just want to hang on to. I see a lot of people doing these. If you go to the BMX museum, there's a lot of people that have converted these to you know, cruisers, 26 cruisers. So what's cool about this one is I took the steel wheels off and well, actually I kept the hubs, but I laced in a aluminum array rim. Old school style array. This is the, I think these would be considered, got the 7s, these might be the C's, if I'm correct. I'll have to look it up, correct myself when I look it up later. So, alright, more to follow on this. I'm going to take these brakes off here. These are just like a, probably a copy of the Diacomp 1000s, the MX 1000s. They're just a cheap one at the time that I had, or probably something I had. At that time when I was building bikes, I didn't have a lot of the components that I have now saved up. Hadn't ran across them yet, or just weren't something I was familiar with, or so all my bikes are pretty much budget builds. You know, I've got family and I've got to maintain a house, and I can't just throw a bunch of money at BMX bikes or bikes, period. Like you got, most of you guys out there, this is just our hobby. We don't get rich off of it. We just do it for entertainment, for ourselves. Yeah, this is just an old brake. I probably moved the stud over. That's what I'm gonna have to do with the new one. And I just use wire ties on this. Now I've got more of the cable straps, you know, I've collected over off the builds. I got chrome ones. Let me get that front wheel off. I repaired my old stand that I had. Put a new base on it. Added some weight to the base and made it a little taller. That is an original fork for the Murray. You see the dropouts on it, if you get a look at those. Just a heavy steel, high tensile steel fork. These weren't high-end bikes by any means. They were mass-produced. What I've read is they're probably one of the first mass-produced mountain bikes. Not sure where you bought them at, where Murrays were sold. Kmart's, Sears. I think Sears was a big one. Probably get a lot of these Murrays at the Sears. This is the original hub. The reason I kept them is they're stamped Japanese in their chair. You'll see a video on these of me lacing in this aluminum rail. You know, they were just a steel wheel. This was black, and it's just, you know, the anodize is faded. But it's got a nice chrome center. Look up the video, you'll see me building these. It's a while ago, a long time ago. But it's got aluminum, you know, end caps with a steel pressed on there. So I think they turned out nice. I like them. I actually might have a better bar for this to match that patina on that rim there. Yeah, these were pretty sorry brakes. Not bad brakes, I'm just saying they work. But they're all hodged together. Another MX knockoff. I'll retire those. I loosened the stem earlier because I wanted to find out if I could find a actual headset for this. These are motocross bars. They're pretty, they got a whammy on them right there. See them all heated up. Somebody straighten them out. This is a Huffy stem that came off that Colorado Huffy that I had years ago. The Colorado was a mountain bike Huffy put out like the Murray, about an 82, 83, you could see them, but they also made them, the frame had a, this type of, you know, horizontal dropout, just like the BMX Cruisers that era, but they also made a mountain bike called a Colorado. If you find one of those, you'll see the frame is a cruiser style. They're really long too. I think they got like a 23 top tube. So off this one, I'm just probably gonna save the grips. I mean the levers, but I do have some Diacomp levers I might use instead. Set those to the side. That's the stem I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna use. Nice old school, does fit. This fork is so thin that you could actually feel the threading. The diameter of the wall tubing is so thin. I would definitely not trust this for something that you want to go bomb down hills. Wasn't a bad build what I did. Just didn't have a lot of different components to pick from. Put a nice freewheel on it. Another, you can see the hub back here. I haven't ridden in a while. You can see how much air. Pretty. Have not had this one down. I'm gonna trade these pedals out. Took these back off a couple of bikes I've had. I really like these. These are actually a KKT. Is that what they are? Yeah, KKTs. And they say, I thought they had BMX on them. They're just a cast bear trap, but they're nice looking. I'm gonna take this SE off. This is just an SE, and I've got a black one I'm going to put on, another steel. I like the crank. I think this is a red line that I grabbed off of something. It's a long armed. hurt myself. Like my new stand, or not my new stand, my old stand that I fixed, because the rubber hasn't wore out on it. I don't think I cleared this when I cleaned it up. I think I just steel-wooled it. It's definitely got some tarnish to it again. Just setting. Yeah, the chrome on this wasn't a very good quality at all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw the catalog on this was in Sears. I think I've got a better clamp for this too. Not saying this is bad, I just think I got something that's got more BMX look to it. Oddball. This is a standard BMX, you know, not gonna work. Guess that's a 13/16. Yeah. But it's long. Definitely getting rid of the seat. Got a nice Brooks that I've been saving for something. I might as well use it for this. I'm getting to a point where I want to, you know, start passing some of my bikes around, get rid of them. But the ones I want to keep, I want to upgrade with some of the components I've used in past builds. And this is one of them I want to keep. I don't know, I have to go back and look at the video. I'm not sure how I stated how I got the bike. But when I bought this Baja, I drove out pretty far, well, not real far away, probably about 30 miles. The guy knew what he had. It was a few years ago, so the craze of the, I don't know, the COVID craze and of bikes going out, priced real crazy. You know, the cost of the bikes going up, or the value of them going up, not mean they were worth it, but, and also the nostalgia of them. So I know these have gotten popular, the Bajas. This might be the coolest one I own for this bike. You have a red one. Oh, that's not going to fit. I've got this as old school. That will work. So this is the Tioga, Tioga, actually a Japanese. This is original because this came off what was that bike? I remember that Laguna. It was the Laguna Cruiser I picked up. I parted it out, just worth more. Believe it or not, that Laguna, it was like an 81, 82, but the chrome had failed on it. All around the bottom bracket was peeling. It had a nice fork on it. So I had built it, a nice cruiser. Just wasn't a really good quality chrome, I guess. I was really surprised because most of the 80 bikes, they're pretty good chrome. Yeah, we'll keep this one on there. We'll get that on. We'll use that. This is something that came off one of those road bikes I had picked up. These little rubber covers. They're blue. So that's why I'm going to kind of go with the blue theme on this one. I'm just going to heat them up with some hot water and pull them off this. This was just a road bike. And I just got the bike for parts. But and I've got some housing, blue housing I'll use. Pork Chop had, or was it BMX Guru had this on special for like $2 or $3, so you can't find housing, you know, cable and housing. That's a pretty good deal. So I'm going to take those off and put them on the levers. Well, I'll get this thing stripped down and start finding some pieces for the headset. I've got a box full of old headsets, but hopefully I can find something better quality on this. And then this was spinning the bottom bracket, so I don't know if the washer in there's probably wasted. Thought I had a decent bottom bracket on this. Oh, I used the old Huffy style. That's why I use that Huffy style one on there. I'll improve that one too. Put a better bottom bracket on it. Okay, I'll be back to you. I got my King Sting down because I'm going to take the brake off it. But I had components saved for this. Over the years I've collected some stuff. But I've got like a set of brakes I had bought for it. And I saved the stem. This is not a tough neck. It's kind of a knockoff tough neck. Probably a 90 something. But I'm going to take the brakes off this. I'm going to take the stem. And a couple other things I had saved over the years. But I'm not really going to build this until I have like the correct fork for it, and that's what I'm really struggling to find a fork for this King Sting right now. They're so expensive. People know what they have. I could probably go with the Sidewinder. So I'm just going to steal some components that I saved for this so I can use them on my Murray. So that's a chain ring that came off. It's just an SE. Probably picked it up cheap. It's a 39 when they were on sale. A lot of times Amazon will have these. And I picked up a black one not too long ago. This is a 39 also. So I'm not sure why I used the old Huffy or Murray style bottom bracket. But I did. And maybe I didn't have the new modern style. But I just took this off that tandem I had. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw this ring on. Well, that's tight. Yeah, maybe I was using that old bottom bracket because I'm trying to be a purist or something like that. I have no idea. It's been a few years. I know I've shown you this tool before, but if you do a lot of American bottom brackets, this Park tool, HCW18, is really good for modern, well, not a modern, but American bottom brackets. We'll take this off and on the inside, I guess, race. And then the other side, it's like a spanner for the cone right here. Fits in there. It's good to use. So I've got a lot of use out of this. So that's going to be a little more contrast since I've got some black already on the bike. And same tooth count, so I'm not going to have to change the or adjust the chain. So this is a 175. It's probably a, I'm pretty sure this is a red line. I don't think it's a GT, but BMX. All right, so just putting the bearing in, bearings in, bottom bracket. Should perform about the same as it did before. I don't expect anything different from a different bottom bracket install. Maybe the adjustment's going to be easier instead of using those two washers that were in there before. Simplified it with this one. That's where this tool comes in handy, adjusting that inner nut there. That's probably too loose. We'll see how that is. Some of these more modern bottom brackets flex more when you start tightening the nut on the outside here. So I try to back that off just a little bit, like there's a slight play right now. Once I tighten that outer nut, see how much of that flexes. A little bit of play. Oh, definitely took it out. Well, on a little bit more. That should be good. Shouldn't come loose. Alright, so got the bottom bracket in. Put the headset back in, so couldn't find anything to replace that original headset. The cones are 1 1/8, or the cups are. There's the fancy C-post clamp I had saved for that King Steam. Alright, I'm going to replace some tires now. So I'm taking off these old, like, snake belly looking tires. They're very crunchy. So you can see the sidewalls. Not very good anymore. They served its purpose. Just going to discard them. Go with this knobby set. So if you've ever bought Diacomp brake kit, I got this from Port Chop years ago. It's an MX 1000 caliper, front and rear. Nice set. They were on sale one year. Port Chop had them on sale. But they'll give you, both of them are originally shipped with the short for the rear mount. And in the kit, they include the long shaft for your front brake. Now somehow, got two different pads on there. I'll have to check that out, see where those went. Probably got another set in there that can match up. So one of these, I'll just use this one. I'm going to go ahead and swap this so it can go on the front. Now I've got a neat little set here. These are made by Diacomp. You can see them. It's a 10, 8, and a 9 millimeter. So all the brake stuff you ever have to do. This came in a kit. I bought it when I was in high school years ago. Made in Japan. And it's always a great tool down here if you're trying to get down to this lower to set the jam nut on these. And then, you know, this is a 13 here. So you set the straightness of the brake. So I'm just going to remove this and swap the shaft over here. Since all this is fairly new, should come off pretty easily. Little protector on there. Usually these are mangled pretty good. I haven't bought a set of these in a while, so I'm wondering if they're still the same quality. It's got a little grease on it still. The orientation of that spring, it's important so it lays flat. Usually these are plastic. Orientate that there. Try to keep that die comp centered. This is a high end for that Murray, isn't it? I guess it deserves it. Seen some pretty blinged out Murrays on the internet. If you go to BMX Museum, some people like them. Now it's easier if you just set that spring in there, then you can kind of tighten it up. Go ahead and tighten it up on the set the load on there when we put it on the fork. But that's it. That's all you have to do. We'll put all this back on. Well, let's get some brakes on this thing. Got the tire replaced on the front and rear. Got some lawyer washers still I'm using. I set them in the right spot. Now I remember on this fork, I did replace it. The original fork to this frame was just rusted on as can be. So I do remember I had a second fork that I had picked up a long time ago. Not knowing I'd have a Murray, this Baja Murray. But I did pick up a fork, an extra one. It's because it's a 26 chrome. Those are usually hard to find. People want a lot of money for them. The threaded ones, you know. These rear stays are not the best. Pretty flimsy. They're not real thick, you know. They're just a stamped. So it's kind of hard to get your axle set when they spin. You want to rotate. That'd be too tight. That's not bad. Okay, let's look at some brakes now. We got this long one now in the front. That's going to look good. There's not much of a curve there, you know, they give those little spacers in there. It'll flatten out. There's more of a curve on this back side. And these Repop MX 1000 brake sets, they're really nice. They look like the old stuff. They've got the quick release on here. I think Pork Chop has them on quite a bit. Sometimes they'll have sales. I try picking my stuff up, you know, in the winter time when they've got some sales going on. This is not the time to be buying parts. Everybody wants them. Better check to make sure that I have see if I've got another brake set in there. I'll see if the brake pads are that tan or black. I've got some black pads in there, so I'll use those. Set these pads right now. Get them close. Use my third hand brake tool. Very handy on caliper brakes. Just set it in there. You can see that. Third hand brake tool. This is where you can tighten this up a little better. Kind of squared that brake caliper up in a fork. Should get a stem on there, huh? Well, let's get the stem and bars on. Can't set the brakes without a stem and bar. So here's a stem I've had. Came off a bike I picked up a long time ago, but it looks like a, you know, like a tough neck, but it's not. Forgot what was stamped on it. All right, that's a Foremost. Foremost. It's a nice little stem. So here's the bars I think I'm going to try on it. These are S&M's cruiser bars, 4-piece. The only reason I want to try them is I got the hubs are anodized. That black is faded, so maybe this will blend in. I only paid 35 bucks from these at that swap meet. It was at the very last of the swap meet, and people were leaving and loading up, and the guy was walking around with a wagon full of parts. And I just happened to catch this bar sticking out of his wagon. and he saw me eyeballing them, and he stopped and he said, "You want to buy them?" I said, "Yeah." But I didn't think $35 was going to get them. I think they're like 90 bucks or something, 120. Who knows? Okay, so we got some bars set right now. I can get a lever on. So I got the levers pulled off. I do like the length of these. You know, they're kind of like in between the big old Diacomp. I call them 5 fingers. The ones you use in the old mountain bikes, cantilever framed ones. Kind of like the almost a motorcycle, probably what the clunkers were using. These smaller Sea Stars are just a little bit shorter, and they're a lot bigger than what came in that kit, like something you'd ride on a 20-inch BMX. Just too short for me. I want something. I don't know. I guess I got lucky with these. They actually fit pretty nicely for the style I was going for. I do like using the old Diacomps, the big ones. I still use them on my clunkers. And with a little bit of hot water on that road bike, I got those covers, which are pretty cool. These have got to be from the, I'm sure, the 70s. They were on that, you know, the drop-down bars. So they'll work pretty good. I think I'll just put them in the sun and then slide them on and see how they look. They'll bring a little color to this since I don't have any blue levers on there. Okay. Make sure I'm on the right side here. I'll loosen those up some more. Pretty tight. Give them a little nudge here. There we go. Thought these bars were anodized. I think they're just painted. That one went out fine. I don't have any cool grips yet. Just going to use these old white ones here. I'll find something in the future. Some pressure in there. All right, now we can get a cable on there. These universal cables, you know, they come with both ends for a road or for road levers or regular brake levers. Actually not a bad set of cables. Came with a little ferrule on there. I won't need that. Extra long. It's not the perfect color blue. These actually have a little Allen there that you need to hold till you get your cable in there. And then the 8 here. That's that quick release, which is really nice. Then you got a barrel adjuster here too. Gee. There we go. My stand feels like it's ready to fall over. This is a heavy bike. Gotta get one more cable on. Yeah, you can see that. Just make sure the housing doesn't rub on that cable. It's really, this top tube here tapers down to almost like a 5/8 inch pipe up here. Unusual. So yeah, nice and clean. They ship these, the quick disconnect or the barrel adjuster. I got a little tie on there to keep it from moving, so you don't lose it, I guess, in shipping. I just take a little bit of slack off there. I haven't adjusted these pads yet. So I've got adjustment here on the frame. I can slide this up and down. Plus I got adjustment here. So I'm just going to hit these pads kind of like in the middle. Take this down. Use my third hand tool again. Get this quick release out of the way. I'll adjust those pads up later. They're not hitting perfect. Get that back down. Put your cables in. And this cable will stretch. Slide that up. That is really close. So when I adjust these brakes to center them, the caliper on there, which the cable stretched, I just use an old cone wrench, a 13 millimeter, it fits right in there. And then you can move it right or left if you need to center that out. But right now they just need stretched out, the cables. And then I'll tighten it up some more. If you didn't have that adjustment right there, right here, the old school way of doing it, is taking a flat tip screwdriver, laying it right on top of the spring, and then nudging it over that way. Hit it right or left to move it. That's what you had to do to adjust these once you got that tight. That's old school. rim's a little bit out of adjustment. I forgot we haven't tightened those up yet. We haven't actually set the drag on this since we swapped it out. These are probably a little loose. Back it off. Tighten it up. Still moving. Definitely moved again. There. All right, so I put the clamp underneath so you can't see it inside the seat there. Set that there for now. I put it down here so I can get the bars and stuff set right. Well, there it is, the Baja revived again on the road. So just replaced the chain ring, same 239 SE, but went with that black one. Redid the pedals, put these KKT, I thought they used to say BMX on them. And then the MX brake, MX 1000, the repop die comps, front and rear. This foursome, I think it is, it's called, stem, tough neck look-alike, S&M bars, same levers. Did get those little covers to go on, they look pretty cool. Tires are replaced, good rubber now, just the black knobbies. And the Diacomp repop stem, Brooks seat, or post clamp, and then Brooks seat. Rides real tall too because of the bars. Okay, well, another one pulled from the ceiling and revived. Well, thanks for tuning in. This is Eric with Hoosier Cycles. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, why don't you subscribe? Got more of this stuff coming. If you enjoy this type of bike, cruiser, just building stuff, hit the like button also. We'll check you guys out another time.